Some protectors of the planet were honored at the UN yesterday. Earth Day International presented its environmental awards. Here's a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor for me to be here today for these important awards, which I believe in the future will be the Oscars of the environment.
It's going to take all of us, all over the world, young and old, rich and poor, from every country, working together in order to successfully resolve the environmental crises we face. To reach that goal, we simply have to change the way we look at the world around us, change the way we think about our relationship to the Earth's environment.
Turner Broadcasting has consistently demonstrated its ongoing commitment to environmental preservation around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Turner, and accepting on his behalf, Jane Fonda.
Ted knows that if we are going to change the way we live and the way we interact with nature, everyone is going to have to get involved, and media plays a very important role. So he'd like me to thank for him the people at Turner Broadcasting that carry the torch.
For those people who don't get the attention, who are all around the world in neighborhoods and communities that do the hard and tireless work that it takes to get the big job done, I'd like to dedicate this to them.
In 1987, our next recipient in Los Angeles formed the American Oceans Campaign.
My hope is that this award throws some focus on the oceans of the world. They cover 70% of our planet. Without a healthy ocean, without healthy oceans, we do not have a healthy planet.
Next in Los Angeles, a songwriter and recording artist who has been a strong supporter of environmental causes for nearly 20 years.
There was a fellow named Henry David Thoreau that lived back in the mid-1800s, and he said, "A man is rich in proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone." So I hope that the watchwords for the next century are sustainability and renewability, so that future generations can live in peace and plenty on this planet. Thank you.
My opinion is that the native peoples of North and South America have more to teach us about saving the planet than we can ever, in our own sophistication, hope to teach them.
I as well would like to say a few words about former Yugoslavia. It is important for the peace and for the future of the earth that we end this war. And I would like to speak on behalf of those children that are innocent and are dying every day. Let's do something about it.
That does it for this half hour.
A star-studded bi-coastal award ceremony at the United Nations in New York and at the CBS studios in LA Wednesday marked the first anniversary of the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro. Among the celebrities who were honored for their commitment to environmental causes were Ted Danson, Jane Fonda, who was accepting the award for her husband Ted Turner, Sting, Bianca Jagger, and Don Henley.
I would like to thank Earth Day International for this recognition. I'm grateful that somebody noticed. It's hard to get any recognition or any coverage these days unless you're selling sex and violence or political intrigue. So I appreciate this honor.
In an environmental note, last Friday on orders from President Clinton, America's United Nations Ambassador Madeleine Albright signed the Global Biodiversity Treaty aimed at protecting endangered ecosystems. Former President Bush antagonized the rest of the world by refusing to sign the treaty at the Earth Summit in Brazil a year ago. Speaking of which, on Thursday, the one-year anniversary of the summit's opening, a group called Earth Day International will give out its first environmental awards at the UN. Sting, Don Henley, Paul McCartney, and Vice President Gore will be among the honorees. That's the news for now. We'll be back with more news later, right here on MTV.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bianca Ferrar. This is E! News Daily, our 30-minute look at the latest in entertainment news. And celebrities get special honors for helping Mother Earth. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Several celebrities are involved in projects aimed at cleaning up and preserving the environment. Thursday, some were honored for their efforts during the first annual Earth Day International Awards. Amy Powell reports.
Actor Michael York served as host of the awards ceremony, which was held in New York and Los Angeles via satellite. The celebrity honorees included actors Robert Redford and Ted Danson, who was recognized for his efforts to clean up the oceans through the American Oceans Campaign.
Without healthy oceans, we do not have a healthy planet.
Singer Don Henley received an award for his long involvement in a variety of causes, including the Walden Woods Preservation Project.
It's hard to get any recognition or any coverage these days unless you're selling sex and violence or political intrigue. So I appreciate this honor.
Another popular musician, Sting, was honored for starting a foundation to protect the Brazilian rainforests.
My opinion is that the native peoples of North and South America have more to teach us about saving the planet than we can ever, in our own sophistication, hope to teach them.
Jane Fonda was on hand to accept an award on behalf of her husband, broadcasting executive Ted Turner. Hollywood celebrities have been criticized recently for their involvement in political issues. Henley says the attacks are unfair.
That's why I can't really understand all this new celebrity bashing that's going on. We're not in Washington lobbying for show business. You know, you never hear us going up there trying to improve our lot. We're talking about health care, we're talking about the environment, we're talking about human rights. Those are the things that celebrities are interested in.
Hopefully someday Hollywood can be quiet and make movies. I think we'd all enjoy that more. But that means we're going to need policymakers taking the bull by the horns.
Earth Day International is an umbrella organization that links more than 3,000 environmental groups in 140 countries. Organizers hope to make this event the Academy Awards of the Environment. Plans are to televise the event next year. From Los Angeles, I'm Amy Powell for E! News Daily.
Environmental stars win credit 1 year after Rio. The environment stars in a new animated film. And a store where bones are the star attraction. Hello, I'm Joe Oliver. The 1-year anniversary of the Earth Summit in Rio is celebrated with the first ever Earth Day International Awards. Celebrities and little-known activists were honored equally by a coalition of more than 3,000 environmental groups. Sting and Nicaragua's Bianca Jagger were honored, along with activists from Croatia, India, and Indonesia. U.S. Vice President Al Gore won an award, but as a whole, politicians took a lot of heat for governments failing to follow up on the Earth Summit.
If they join us to work, if they join us to make the world different, I think it will be much easier.
The ceremony was held simultaneously at the United Nations and in Los Angeles. Jane Fonda accepted for TBS Chairman Ted Turner. She shared the LA stage with musician Don Henley and actor Ted Danson.
This is Channel 2 News at 5.
On the first anniversary of the Earth Day Summit in Rio de Janeiro, some people who are leading the fight to preserve the Earth were honored today at the United Nations. The Earth Day International Awards were presented to political, educational, and celebrity figures from around the world. The ceremony was held simultaneously in Los Angeles and in New York. West Coast honorees included Ted Danson, Don Henley, and Jane Fonda, who represented her husband, Ted Turner. Bianca Jagger, Sting, and Robert Redford modestly accepted their honors in New York.
I'd like to thank my wife for making me do this. I also need really to dedicate this award to the people who really deserve it, to the people who run the Rainforest Foundation.
For those people who don't get the attention, who are all around the world in neighborhoods and communities that do the hard and tireless work that it takes to get the big job done, I'd like to dedicate this to them.
Earth Day International is a group that links more than 3,000 environmental groups in over 100 countries.
Good afternoon. I'm Christine Lund.
I'm Steve Wolford, and this is Eyewitness News. Coming up next at 4 o'clock, celebrities are honored for their work to help the environment. We'll be right back. Supporters of environmental causes were honored today at Earth Day International's first Environmental Awards presentation. Celebrities in Los Angeles and New York were on hand for the special ceremony, as well as our own Francesca Capucci.
It was a bi-coastal award ceremony honoring those people who have committed their time and energy to environmental issues. Sting, Pele, and Bianca Jagger were among the many recognized in New York. Here in L.A., Ted Danson and Don Henley were given trophies for their contributions, and Jane Fonda accepted an award for her husband, Ted Turner.
On behalf of my husband, I'd like to thank Maurice Strawn and the Board of Directors of Earth Day International. This is a great honor.
My hope is that this award throws some focus on the oceans of the world. They cover 70% of our planet. Without a healthy ocean, Without healthy oceans, we do not have a healthy planet. And a lot of time, marine ecosystems don't get the attention they deserve.
Don Henley was honored for his efforts to save Walden Woods. Henley is one who seldom hides his feelings, and he told me he resents the recent trend in the media bashing celebrities who are outspoken.
When we go to Washington, when I go to Washington, or when Barbara Streisand goes to Washington, or Robert Redford, we're not there lobbying on behalf of show business. We're lobbying on behalf of human rights and the environment and the health services and things for other people. We're not lobbying for ourselves.
Henley was impressed with seeing so many people from around the world unite for the environment.
It's that we've been given this garden to live in and we're not tending it very well. That's basically what it is. And I think it also comes out of a deep love and care for humanity.
From here, Don Henley will continue his fight to save Walden Woods, and the other honorees will carry on with their individual projects. But they stress, to ensure the future of our planet, everyone needs to get involved. Francesca Capucci, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Now from KTTV Los Angeles, Christine Devine, Bob Donnelly, Greg Ketter, and Rick Garcia. This is Fox News.
Well, in New York and Los Angeles, a bi-coastal celebration of environmental excellence. Celebrities and the not-so-famous all honored at the first annual Earth Day International Awards. Rocker Don Henley was recognized for efforts to preserve Walden Pond, and he accepted that with a quote from this famous author.
Proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone. So I hope that the watchwords for the next century are sustainability and renewability so that future generations can live in peace and plenty on this planet.
The awards coincide.
From the newsroom, this is Channel 9 News with Rollin Smith, Brenda Blackman, Lloyd Lindsay Young's weather, and Russ Salzberg on sports.
It's been a year since the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, and today Earth Day International presented its environmental awards at the UN. They had some high-power celebrity appeal, including Sting, Paul McCartney, and others who were honored. Earth Day International is an organization linking groups from 140 countries.
This is Action News for all of Southern California. Now, Channel 2 Action News.
It has been 1 year since the world's first environmental summit meeting. Yesterday, celebrities from around the world got together to spark new interest in cleaning up the planet. It was the largest environmental conference ever held, but last year's gathering in Rio is remembered more as a celebrity street party and a chance to blast the Bush administration for its refusal to sign a biodiversity treaty. Now, 1 year later, the treaty's been signed, and stars honored for their environmental work wondered if the Earth is any better off.
No, I don't know at the moment. I can't name things right now that will tell you, yes, everything is fine, we're making great progress. You know, there are definitely bays and harbors in certain areas of the country that have been cleaned up, yes. Are we still pouring pollutants, you know, into our water system? Yes, we are.
Ted Danson, among the Hollywood names honored in a coast-to-coast satellite awards ceremony. Rock star Don Henley lamented that unless there's a famous name involved, it can be hard to get environmental issues on the front page.
I think it's simply because it doesn't have that Buttafuoco factor, you know. I really think that it's just not sexy enough.
No shortage of big names here. Sting, Pele, Jane Fonda accepting for husband Ted Turner, and Robert Redford.
So for those people who don't get the attention, who are all around the world in neighborhoods and communities that do the hard and tireless work that it takes to get the big job done, I'd like to dedicate this to them, to you.
You don't have to be famous to help save the Earth. Among those honored Thursday was Vice President Al Gore. You might remember that he led the U.S. delegation to that big conference last year.
With California 9, Los Angeles. Now, Jerry Dunphy, Tawny Little, Carl Bell's weather, and Gary Cruz on sports. This is Prime 9 News at 10.
Some environmentally friendly people were honored today for their efforts to try to save our planet, the Earth. Earth Day International presented its first ever environmental awards. They did this in Hollywood. Among the recipients, Cheers star Ted Danson. Of course, Danson is one of the founders of the American Oceans Campaign, which fights to clean oceans and marine wildlife.
My hope is that this award throws some focus on the oceans of the world. They cover 70% of our planet. Without a healthy ocean, without healthy oceans, we do not have a healthy planet.
Other Earth Day Award winners, musician Don Henley for his Walden Woods Preservation Project, and Jane Fonda accepted for her husband Ted Turner, whose Turner Broadcasting Network won for outstanding environmental programming.
And now, Heidi Tom, Jack Cafferty, Jerry Gerard with sports, and Bob Harris with the weather. The Emmy Award-winning Channel 11 News at 10.
Some stars are honored by the United Nations for their work on behalf of the environment. Here in New York today, a special salute to Mother Earth was quietly marked at the United Nations. Earth Day International was celebrated. This is the first anniversary of the Earth Summit that was held in Rio de Janeiro. Special environmental awards were handed out to people working to protect our planet, and this year's winners included some famous faces, including Robert Redford and Ted Danson.
I'm Tabitha Soren with MTV News and another summer concert report. This hour on Don Henley, who kicks off a 15-date mini tour this Friday at the Garden State Arts Center in New Jersey. Henley will start each show with an acoustic set before plugging in to unveil some new material. 50 cents from each ticket sold will go to Henley's pet project, the Walden Woods Foundation. Speaking of which, Henley was honored last Thursday at the United Nations for his efforts to preserve that bucolic patch of land. Henley, who beamed into the UN from Los Angeles, was given one of the first annual environmental awards by Earth Day International.
There was a fellow named Henry David Thoreau that lived back in the mid-1800s, and he said, "A man is rich in proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone." So I hope that the watchwords for the next century are sustainability and renewability so that future generations can live in peace and plenty on this planet. Thank you.
That would be Thoreau.